Hello, devoted fans of Days of Our Lives. Welcome back to TV Days Drama Digest, your go-to source for the latest musings, speculations, and behind-the-scenes scoops on the iconic soap opera that has kept us glued to our screens for decades. Today, we're diving into a topic that's sure to stir up nostalgia, intrigue, and plenty of speculation. Could Andrea Hall, the real-life twin sister of the legendary Deidre Hall, make a dramatic return to the fictional town of Salem? As the sands of the hourglass continue to fall, let's explore the tantalizing possibility of Andrea Hall stepping back into the spotlight on Days of Our Lives, DOOL, examining her past roles, the current storyline developments, and the potential for a comeback that could send shockwaves through the soap opera world. A twin legacy in Salem for those who've been following Days of Our Lives since its early years. Andrea Hall is no stranger. The real-life identical twin sister of Deidre Hall, who has portrayed the beloved Dr. Marlena Evans for over 45 years, Andrea left an indelible mark on the show during her stints in the late 1970s and early 2000s. Her performances as two distinct characters, Samantha Evans and Hattie Adams, brought a unique layer of drama to the series, leveraging the sisters' uncanny resemblance to create some of the most memorable storylines in DOOL history. Andrea Hall first appeared on Days of Our Lives in 1977, cast as Samantha Evans, Marlena's jealous and troubled twin sister. Samantha was a firestorm of a character, an out-of-work actress battling a drug addiction, whose envy of Marlena's seemingly perfect life led her to impersonate her sister and orchestrate a chilling plot to have Marlena institutionalized. The storyline was a masterclass in soap opera drama, blending deception, betrayal, and emotional turmoil. Fans were on the edge of their seats as Samantha's schemes unraveled, thanks to the efforts of Dawn Craig and Laura Horton, who exposed her treachery. The saga took a tragic turn when Samantha, mistaken for Marlena, was murdered by the Salem Strangler, Jake Kozacek, in a twist that left viewers reeling and mourning the loss of Andrea's character. But Andrea's time in Salem wasn't over. In 2000, she returned to Days of Our Lives as Hattie Adams, a doppelganger who bore a striking resemblance to Marlena but was not related to her. Hattie's introduction added another layer of intrigue, as the villainous Stefano Di Mera saw an opportunity to exploit her likeness to Marlena for his nefarious plans. Initially a pawn in Stefano's schemes, Hattie evolved into a complex character with her own struggles and vulnerabilities, earning sympathy from fans who grew to appreciate her rough-around-the-edges charm. Andrea portrayed Hattie from 2000 to 2001, with Deidre Hall taking over the role in 2004 and sporadically from 2016 to 2020, including a brief return in September 2024. The real-life twin dynamic between Deidre and Andrea added an authentic spark to their on-screen performances. Deidre herself has spoken fondly of the experience, describing it as one of the highlights of her long career. In an interview with People, she recalled suggesting the twin storyline to then-head writer and Marcus, who eagerly embraced the idea. Andrea, a special education teacher with no prior acting experience, stepped into the role of Samantha with remarkable ease, even impressing Deidre with her ability to cry on cue during emotional scenes. Their time working together, living together, and navigating the high-stakes world of daytime television was, in Deidre's words, spectacular. The current landscape, Stefano's resurrection, and new possibilities as Days of Our Lives approaches its 60th anniversary in November 2025. The show is poised for a season filled with bold risks and jaw-dropping twists, as teased by executive producer Ken Corday. One of the most tantalizing developments is the resurrection of Stefano Di Mera, the iconic villain whose machinations have long driven the show's most dramatic storylines. Stefano's return, shrouded in mystery and high-tech deception, opens the door to a host of possibilities, including the potential reintroduction of characters tied to his schemes, characters like Hattie Adams, who was once manipulated by the DiMera patriarch. Could this be the perfect moment for Andrea Hall to reclaim her place in Salem? The current storyline, as reported by Soap Opera Daily, hints at long-term storytelling and global reach, with Peacock's streaming platform allowing for greater creative flexibility. Stefano's resurrection could involve familiar faces from the past, and Hattie's history with the DiMera family makes her a prime candidate for a comeback. Imagine the drama of Hattie returning to Salem, perhaps under Stefano's influence once again, only to find herself caught in a web of deceit that pits her against Marlena or other key players in the Brady and DiMera clans. The emotional stakes would be sky-high, especially given the real-life bond between Deidre and Andrea, which could infuse their scenes with unparalleled authenticity. Moreover, the show's recent casting shakeups, as detailed by Just Jared, indicate a willingness to bring back familiar faces while introducing new ones. Alison Sweeney's return as Sammy Brady in April 2025 proves that Days of Our Lives is not afraid to tap into its rich history to rekindle fan excitement. Could Andrea Hall's return be next on the horizon? The prospect of seeing the Hall twins share the screen again, whether as allies or adversaries, is a dream scenario for longtime fans who remember the electric chemistry of their earlier collaborations. A temporary replacement for Deidre Hall? Another intriguing possibility is Andrea Hall stepping in to temporarily replace Deidre Hall as Marlena Evans. Deidre has been a mainstay on Days of Our Lives since 1976, with only a few breaks, including a departure from 1987 to 1991 due to scheduling conflicts with her primetime series Our House and a termination in 2009 due to budget cuts. Her commitment to the show is undeniable, but at 77 years old, it's conceivable that Deidre might need a brief hiatus for personal or professional reasons. In such a scenario, who better to step into Marlena's shoes than her identical twin sister, Andrea? This idea isn't without precedent. Soap operas have long used doubles and lookalikes to create dramatic tension, and Andrea's prior experience playing characters who resemble Marlena makes her a natural fit. Imagine the chaos in Salem if Marlena were to suddenly disappear, only for Andrea's character, perhaps Hattie posing as Marlena or even a new twin sister, to take her place. The storyline could explore themes of identity, deception, and loyalty, with characters like John Black, Roman Brady, or Kate Roberts grappling to uncover the truth. The real-life twin connection would add a meta layer of intrigue, as fans would marvel at the seamless substitution while speculating about the narrative implications. However, there are challenges to consider. Andrea Hall retired from acting after her 2001 stint as Hattie, returning to her career as a special education teacher. Her brief return in 2000 was a significant commitment, requiring her to relocate to Los Angeles and leave her teaching job temporarily. Would she be willing to disrupt her life again for a role on Days of Our Lives? Deidre has hinted at the possibility of working with her sister again, expressing enthusiasm for a potential on-screen reunion in a 2023 interview with Nicki Swift. The sisters' collaboration on the Westbrook Collection, a series of watercolor greeting cards created during the 2020 lockdown, shows their continued creative partnership, suggesting that Andrea might be open to a nostalgic return under the right circumstances. Fan reactions and the power of nostalgia. The Days of Our Lives fanbase is one of the most passionate in daytime television, and the idea of Andrea Hall's return has sparked fervent discussion on social media and fan forums. On X, fans have expressed a mix of excitement and skepticism, with some longing for the days when Samantha Evans stirred up trouble in Salem and others wondering if Andrea, now in her late 70s, would be interested in revisiting the soap opera world. Posts like "Bring back Andrea Hall for a twin twist" and "Hattie vs. Marlena in 2025? Yes, please," reflect the enthusiasm for a storyline that could capitalize on the Hall sisters' unique dynamic. Nostalgia is a powerful force in soap operas, and Days of Our Lives has a history of leveraging its rich legacy to captivate audiences. The show's 15,000th episode in December 2024 and its 60th anniversary in 2025 are milestones that call for bold, memorable storylines. Bringing back Andrea Hall, even for a limited arc, would be a nod to the show's pioneering decision to cast real-life twins, the first soap opera to do so, and a tribute to the fans who have followed Marlena's journey for decades. Deidre Hall herself has acknowledged the impact of her twin storylines, noting in a 2025 podcast appearance on Soapy hosted by Rebecca Budig and Greg Rickhart that working with Andrea was a career highlight. The fan response to their collaboration in the late 1970s was overwhelming, with viewers initially believing Marlena had been killed off when Samantha met her tragic end. This misunderstanding led to a flood of fan letters and protests, underscoring the emotional investment in Deidre's character and the power of the twin narrative. A modern-day reunion could reignite that passion, especially in an era where streaming on Peacock allows for more experimental storytelling. The creative potential of Andrea's return. If Andrea Hall were to return, the creative possibilities are endless. Here are a few scenarios that could unfold. Hattie's redemption arc. Hattie Adams, last seen in September 2024, could return to Salem with a new purpose. Perhaps she's seeking redemption after years of being manipulated by Stefano and others. A storyline where Hattie teams up with Marlena to take down a common enemy, like a newly resurrected Stefano, could showcase the sisters' ability to play off each other's strengths, blending humor, heart, and high-stakes drama. A new twin twist. Days of Our Lives is no stranger to outlandish plotlines, from demonic possessions to high-tech masks. Could the show introduce a new twin sister for Marlena, played by Andrea? This character could be a long-lost sibling with a dark past, tied to the DiMera family's experiments or a secret from the Horton family's history. The reveal would be a bombshell, shaking up Salem's dynamics and giving Andrea a fresh role to sink her teeth into. A temporary Marlena swap. If Deidre Hall needs a break, Andrea could step in as Marlena, either as a temporary replacement or as part of a storyline where Hattie or another lookalike impersonates her. The deception could lead to romantic entanglements, business deals gone wrong, or even a confrontation with Stefano, who might exploit the situation for his own gain. A meta tribute. Given the show's 60th anniversary, a special episode or arc featuring Andrea and Deidre reflecting on their time together could be a heartfelt nod to fans. This could involve flashbacks to Samantha and Hattie's storylines, interspersed with new scenes where the sisters' characters reconcile or face a shared challenge. Such a tribute would celebrate the show's history while showcasing the unique bond between the Hall twins. Challenges and considerations. While the idea of Andrea Hall's return is thrilling, there are practical considerations to address. Andrea's retirement from acting and her life outside the entertainment industry may make her hesitant to return. Her previous stints required significant personal sacrifices, including leaving her teaching career and relocating to Los Angeles. At this stage in her life, would she be willing to take on the demanding schedule of a soap opera, even for a short arc? Additionally, Deidre Hall's recent comments suggest that she remains deeply committed to Days of Our Lives, with her 5,000th episode airing in May 2023 and no indication of slowing down. If Deidre continues to portray Marlena and Hattie, the narrative justification for bringing Andrea back might be harder to establish. However, the show's writers have a knack for crafting creative solutions, and the current focus on Stefano's resurrection provides a fertile ground for reintroducing Hattie or a new character tied to Marlena's orbit. Budget constraints, a recurring issue for Days of Our Lives, could also play a role. Deidre's high salary led to her temporary exit in 2009, and adding another actor, even for a limited run, would require careful financial planning. Peacock's streaming model, however, has bolstered the show's viewership, with 2.4 billion minutes watched in its 60th season, suggesting that the platform might be willing to invest in a high-profile return to capitalize on fan interest. The verdict: Will we see Andrea Hall in Salem again? So, will Andrea Hall return to Days of Our Lives? The possibility is tantalizingly real, but not without hurdles. The current storyline involving Stefano's resurrection, combined with the show's milestone celebrations and history of bold casting decisions, makes this an opportune moment for Andrea to step back into Salem. Whether as Hattie Adams, a new character, or a temporary stand-in for Marlena, her return would be a masterstroke, blending nostalgia with fresh drama. The real-life twin connection between Andrea and Deidre adds a layer of authenticity that few shows can replicate, and fans would undoubtedly flock to see them share the screen once more. At TV Days Drama Digest, we're rooting for a reunion that would honor the Hall sisters' legacy while pushing Days of Our Lives into exciting new territory. What do you think, Salemites? Would you love to see Andrea Hall back on the show? Should she reprise Hattie, play a new character, or step into Marlena's shoes for a twist? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going as we await the next chapter in the sands of time. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.